Miss Em. It's good to have you on my show.
Now, Xander, it's nice to be here, but since you are a grown man, you can call me Stacy.
Okay, Miss Em. Stacy, sorry. So, I was wondering if you'd like to do a quick scene together, since you've only ever been my director.
Yeah, sure. What do you have in mind?
How about some Shakespeare?
Always a favorite. Yes, fire away.
Okay, I know I'll get one. Sir Toby Belch! How now, Sir Toby Belch?
Sweet Sir Andrew.
Bless you, fair shrew.
Hail, fellow. Well met. Pray thee, fair knight, how wast thy journey from Illyria?
In truth, fell knight, 'twas long and hard.
Ah, good sir, 'tis what she proclaimed.
Stacy, I can't put this in a show!
Recorded in the live music capital of the multiverse, it's the What's Update with Xander Quation and special guests Stacy Meisetschlaeger and Maggie Bell.
It is by caffeine alone that I set my mind in motion. It's by the beans of Java that my thoughts acquire speed. My hands acquire shakes, and the shakes become a warning. It is by caffeine alone that I set my mind in motion.
Hey, Dingleberry, we're rolling.
Oh. Welcome to the What's Update. I'm Xander Quation. Let's get started. In downtown Austin, an 8-foot tall statue of a grackle in a wrestler's mask was set on fire and burned to the ground. The statue, created for a contest by a local artist, Christy Stallup, entitled Ganador, meaning winner, was constructed of recycled bicycle tires built up around a metal frame. Rodney Lynn Cook, 67, was arrested and charged with criminal mischief for setting the fire. Maybe the voices in Cook's head were hearing Freebird, so he took out his lighter to sway to the music, and an inferno resulted. Want to blow a stoner's mind? Tell them, after Freebird burns out, only metal remains, dude. In the Australian city of Brisbane, a delivery truck carrying toilet paper caught fire after its engine exploded. Both the driver and the cargo of toilet paper were unharmed. It's a good thing, too, because after an engine explosion and a fire, I bet that driver really needed some toilet paper. Also in Australia, a python swallowed an entire beach towel, requiring the towel to be removed by veterinarians. In my mind, this could be one of three things. 1. This was actually the python's first tryout as a stage magician. You know, they say you should probably start off with handkerchiefs. 2. Extreme snake sex requiring serious cleanup. And 3rd, and this is what I believe is most likely, the snake was training to gain the ability to swallow other snakes and form Snake Voltron! Researchers from the Plex Corporation, Brucker Scientific LLC, and Harvard University found evidence of a protein inside of a meteorite. Previously, scientists have found organic materials, sugars, and other molecules considered to be amino acids in both meteorites and comets. Fully formed amino acids have also been found in comets and meteorites, but, until now, no proteins had been found inside of an extraterrestrial object. Or maybe some alien really needs to borrow that python's towel. An Oklahoma man was sentenced to life in prison for holding his stepdaughter captive for 19 years and fathering her 9 children. That is some sick, twisted stuff. Like, even Florida Man thought this one was messed up. Wait. Is Oklahoma Man the edgy DC Comics reboot of Florida Man? In much happier father-daughter news, a Sacramento, California newborn arrived on Leap Day. The girl's father was also born on February 29th, the odds of which are 1 in 2 million. Not only does she have to share a birthday with her father, but she only gets a birthday party every 4 years? Man, and I thought having a summer birthday sucked. Vice President Mike Pence, recently put in charge of the Trump administration's efforts to combat COVID-19, was ridiculed for trying to cure the pandemic by forming up a prayer circle. You know, maybe he's right, and he's just not praying hard enough. Ooh, we should tell him that the coronavirus is gay, and that will make him pray harder. Gay things make Pence do everything harder, if you know what I mean. This week, President Trump fell back on one of his favorite tricks and attempted to blame the spread of COVID-19. Remember, That's the 2019 coronavirus on President Barack Obama. No one's been able to determine what regulation Trump was referencing, but according to aides, Republican Senator Lamar Alexander, then chairman of the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, had proposed legislation to reform lab-developed tests in 2016, but the rule never passed. What's next? Is Trump going to claim that the formula for the vaccine is in Hillary's emails? The recent COVID-19 outbreak even affected South by Southwest. A petition to postpone the event for fear of public health gained thousands of signatures. Fearing concerns about the potential spread of COVID-19, Austin city leaders announced Friday that the South by Southwest festival is in fact canceled. According to a statement from the festival leaders, this is the first time in 34 years that South by Southwest won't take place. Tech companies such as Twitter, Facebook, and Intel pulled out of the festival earlier in the week. It seems that they finally admitted that they, like everyone else, had no faith in their virus protection. As a precaution, some had suggested installing infrared cameras to detect fever or replacing germ-spreading handshakes with a fist bump or a foot tap. Maybe everyone could have just dabbed at each other. Sure, they'd still look like idiots, but at least they'd be prepared for an unexpected sneeze. Amazon, succumbing to fear over the spread of COVID-19, is also restricting their employees' travel. Maybe they could just pack them up in a box and ship them there by drone. Sure, it would be uncomfortable, but could be worse. They could work for IKEA. Speaking of travel, has anyone thought about all the people coughing and sneezing in the back of Uber and Lyft cars? It's not like the drivers sanitize after every passenger. Maybe we need to be worrying that COVID-19 is going to be a car-onavirus? There's just a lot of cars picking up people from airports, that's all I'm saying. Thursday, a federal judge criticized Attorney General William Barr's handling of the Mueller report. After a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit seeking a full-text version of the report, Judge Reggie Walton ordered the Justice Department to privately show him the redacted portions censored in the publicly released version. After his review, Walton called into question Barr's credibility and, in turn, the Justice Department's assurances to the court. Walton said Barr put forth a distorted and misleading account of its findings. Incidentally, distorted and misleading is the title of Barr's sex tape. That's our one per show. Senator Elizabeth Warren suspended her presidential campaign and exited the primary race on Thursday. Warren's exit, along with those of Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and Senator Amy Klobuchar, means that the rest of this election season is two straight white male septuagenarians trying to figure out which one Feist the third. Now showing at your local polling station, it's grumpiest old men. It's like the rhyme of the ancient campaigner, except that they all look like they're wearing the albatross on their head. Speaking of men in their 70s, Fox News political commentator Britt Hume shared a bit more than he meant to about his personal life. The 76-year-old Hume posted a screenshot of his computer to Twitter, showing the betting odds of each of the Democratic candidates beating Donald Trump. One of the tabs open in his browser, however, said "Sexy Vinyl Vixens." Now, look, I'm not one to kink-shame a person, hashtag love is love. But this was at 5:37, in the morning, on a Tuesday, at work, on TV, on the news. Oh, wait, yeah, Fox News. Yeah, that tracks. A U.S. military housing reform plan has been watered down to remove several protections sought by both tenants and Congress. The bill, meant to be a way to protect service families from shoddy homes and unresponsive landlords, was ordered last year after the nonprofit Military Housing Advocacy Network revealed that military families were suffering lead poisoning from their base residences. I guess the Department of Defense figured that if eating lead paint chips was good enough for Don Jr. and Eric, it was good enough for the children of our service members. Former Attorney General and freshly shorn troll doll Jeff Sessions, who is seeking to reclaim the Senate seat he held for 20 years before joining the Trump administration, was forced into a runoff after he failed to win a majority on Tuesday. Sessions, famously Trump's abused pet, was fired for disloyalty after he recused himself from the special counsel investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 election and the Trump campaign. Now in a primary battle with former Auburn University football coach Tommy Tuberville, Sessions is loudly proclaiming his loyalty to Trump once again. Do you think he slicked his hair back like that to better slide back up Trump's butt? Actor Antonio Sabato Jr. claims that he had to quit acting due to being blacklisted for his support of Donald Trump. The 47-year-old actor, known for roles in Shark Hunter, Ghost Voyage, Destination Infestation, and Malibu Dan the Family Man, says he had to move to Florida and take up work in construction. Maybe he could just ask Trump for a job at Mar-a-Lago. Of course, Sabato Jr. is from Italy, and we know how Trump feels about immigrants he isn't married to. Speaking of fascists and marriage, Russian President Vladimir Putin proposed amendments to the Russian Constitution to define marriage as the union of one man and one woman, ruling out gay marriage. The proposals include a proclamation of Russians' faith in God and a ban on giving away any Russian territory, which would strengthen Russia's grip on the Crimea region of Ukraine, as well as the disputed Kuril Islands. If you ask me, it's not much of a mystery why President Brokeback over here is always so worried about gay marriage. And in happier news, thanks to a fundraising retweet by Mark Hamill, an 11-year-old amputee and Star Wars fan received bionic arm like Luke Skywalker. Isabella Tadlock, who was born without hands, now has a prosthetic left arm decorated like R2-D2. Not only can it pick stuff up, but it can probably override trash compactors and repair your X-Wing. Alright, well, we're going to take a quick break to wash our hands. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our main story tonight is on gentrification. Gentrification is a process where the unique character, socioeconomic status, and demographic makeup of a neighborhood is fundamentally changed through the influx of more affluent residents and businesses. While gentrification often has positive benefits for a neighborhood, including reduction in crime, increased consumer purchasing power at local businesses, stabilization of declining areas, and increased property values, its negatives add fuel to an already controversial fire. Gentrification frequently shifts a neighborhood's racial/ethnic composition and average household income. With it comes increased cost to local services, increased homelessness through the loss of affordable housing, and displacement through rent and price increases. Gentrification also brings its own type of political gerrymandering by displacing racial minorities and low-income families from districts with high political value. Now, this is not a new phenomenon. Historians have evidence that gentrification took place in ancient Rome, where large villas were replacing small shops by the 3rd century CE. In 1964, British sociologist Ruth Glass was the first to use gentrification in its current sense. She used it to describe the influx of middle-class people displacing lower-class worker residents in urban London neighborhoods. From 2010 to 2018, the population of Texas swelled by almost 3.4 million people. The Austin Round Rock area experienced the highest rate, with an 18% increase over 8 years. In early 2020, half of Texas adults reported that they were spending too much on housing and that it was difficult to find affordable options in the neighborhoods they want to live in. Since 2010, the median home value in Texas has increased by more than 50%, rising from $136,000 to $207,000. In some neighborhoods, like East Austin, the median home value has doubled for the same homes during the same decade. The process of gentrification is three-tiered. First, there is a displacement of lower-income residents. Then, neighborhoods physically transform, and finally, the character of an area is forever changed. Of 200 Austin neighborhoods, the study identifies that 16 are actively gentrifying, and that 23 more are at risk. A 2018 study from the University of Texas, Hook'em, points to widespread gentrification in Austin, stretching from northern neighborhoods to the eastern edge of South Austin. Researchers say that the groups most impacted by displacement are low-income African American and Hispanic renters. West Campus is a prime example of the gentrification of the 40 acres. It was once known as Wheatville. The area had been a former plantation and over time grew into an enclave for African Americans. In the 1920s, the city government shut down public resources serving the black community to encourage them to move eastward into isolation. This rezoning eventually created the high-rises and student homes that now constitute West Campus. The living situation isn't any better for the student population. Luxury high-rises provide housing only accessible to students of a certain financial standing. Low-income students are forced to find housing off campus. These already financially struggling students are then hit with the additional costs associated with commuting, like fuel, auto maintenance, toll roads, and parking. The cultural, social, and economic impact of gentrification cannot be overstated. Let's check in with Aaron Bryant, our senior gentrification correspondent. Aaron, can you hear me? It's Xander in the studio.
Yeah, hey there, Zan. Aaron isn't here.
Jaden, what happened to Aaron?
Aaron had, what do you call it? A bit of an accident.
What did you do to Aaron, Jaden?
Yeah, well, you know...
Spit it out, Jaden.
Look, I didn't do anything to the guy. We were walking up the drag earlier today talking about the gentrification story and...
And then what happened?
I warned him to be careful, but the dude just didn't listen.
Where's Aaron?
He stepped off a curb just near a storm drain, and his skinny butt just slipped right through.
So he's in a storm drain? Didn't you try to help him?
I swear I did, but he said that he kind of liked the industrial vibe of the place, so he was going to check it out for affordable housing potential.
Housing. Oh yeah, housing. So, Jaden, what have you learned about gentrification?
I learned that it is a big problem. It's not just students that are having problems affording housing. It's pretty much everyone that isn't Oprah rich, if you know what I mean.
Oprah is very wealthy.
No doubt. And with the demolition of a bunch of old buildings to make way for swanky new student housing in West Campus, and the plan to add over 20 new high-rises to downtown Austin, this problem isn't going away anytime soon.
That's deplorable. In your research on the subject, what would you recommend to slow the march of gentrification in our fair cities?
Who, me? I don't know if I'm qualified to make a recommendation.
Just give it a go.
Well, I guess the first thing I would do is just put up big signs at the Austin city limits that say, "Welcome to Austin, the live music capital of Texas. Please don't move here. We're full."
Jaden Franklin, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are here with Stacy Meisetschlaeger and Maggie Bell. So, standard issue questions. Who you?
Well, you said my name so well, Stacy Meisetschlaeger.
Hi, I'm Maggie Bell.
All right, what to do?
We're theater teachers.
Yeah, we're middle school theater teachers.
All right, and why?
Oh, God.
Well,
That's a question.
we met in college, and that has nothing to do with it. But I love children. I like to inspire children to love theater.
All right.
And I like middle school because it lights the spark.
Yeah, middle school's a good age. I prefer middle school, actually, because they're just beginning to form sophisticated opinions and ideas about theater and life in general, but they still need guidance and they still need people to be their champions. I mean, they get yelled at all day, so it's fun to not yell at them and actually be with them. I don't know.
It's very noble.
It's a good age.
All right. Well, in honor of the recent passing of James Lipton, if I'm correct, Dean Emeritus of the Actors Studio Drama School at Pace University, and he also hosted the Inside the Actors Studio for I think 24 years. I'd like to ask y'all his classic 10 questions.
All right.
Cool.
Okay. What is your favorite word?
Exuberant.
Scrumptious.
All right. What is your least favorite word?
Nerve-wracking.
That kind of covers a lot of things. Because it's like a not certain word.
It also says audible pauses in performances.
That's true. Good point.
What excites you?
Intelligence.
Excitement, passion.
All right. Now what bums you out?
Toxic masculinity.
Oh, yeah.
People who cannot feel empathy, because then it just makes me sad, I guess. Yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
The laughter of my two girls, my children.
Aw.
Well, a couple of things. I guess the laughter when people feel like they're into doing something that's exciting them. So similar. I don't have kids. And then the purring of my cat. So that's pretty, you know, stereotypical, but it is true.
It's always a very relaxing sound.
Yeah.
What is your favorite curse word? And let's keep this like middle school on TV clean.
Bollocks.
Nice.
Turkey trot. I mean, no, I just weird.
All right.
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. You heard it here first. You know, just saying.
We're doing wonders here, folks.
You're welcome.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I would be a party planner, I think.
All right.
Similar.
I would, and I did, attempt to be a competitive swimmer.
Oh.
And that didn't last very long, but I was actually on the swim team for a while, and even here at UT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I wasn't very good at it, but I would do it again if I didn't embarrass myself so much. Just saying.
What profession would you not like to do?
Construction.
Any particular reason, or just
Being outside, weather, hot, sweat, none of it.
I'd
Like
have- I'd actually
labor
agree with you
and
on that
working,
one.
Labor.
and, you know,
Wet,
effort
yes.
too.
I mean, in my job, I have a lot of effort, just not physical
Okay, that's
effort.
true. Yeah,
Nah.
it's logical. I guess, you know, I wouldn't enjoy pushing paper again. I used to have an office job. I used to work here at UT, and I love UT. I went to school here too, but it's, I don't know, working in an office, it bored me a lot. So I don't know if I would want to work in an office again.
I definitely feel that. If there is an afterlife, what would you like to hear your creator say to you when you arrive at the end?
Surprise!
I just like, I don't know if I can really top that one.
But it's just like you die,
I
and
just
it's
feel
like, surprise,
Yeah.
you're dead.
I feel like I would want to greet my creator and have her say, "Well done," just because I would want to be congratulated on everything I tried to do with my life.
All right. Besides getting through the end of the current school year, what else do y'all have going on?
Well, in the summers, being teachers, we have summers off, but can never be bored. We're not ones to sit around. So we have created a theater company called Summer Break Theater.
Wow.
Maggie, tell us more.
Yeah. Summer Break Theater is because we wanted an opportunity for teachers to have a creative outlet for them.
All right.
And it's really pretty great because teachers get so enveloped in what we're doing all year long. And that's okay. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we signed up to do. That's what we were hired to do. But we kind of quickly discovered that when we don't have that creative outlet during the year, we need something to let it out, at least during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So we created this as an opportunity for teachers to be in a play.
Wow.
And do performance and have a creative opportunity for themselves. And it's not just for theater teachers, it's just teachers in general. And I don't know, it's been really cool. And it caught on pretty fast because we kind of discovered that teachers needed this and wanted this and seemed kind of into the idea that we started this. So I'm really hoping it'll be around for a while.
All right.
That's our goal.
What kinds of plays are you doing? Are you doing like the high level like big professional stuff, or like indie works?
Well, last year was our first year to do it.
Yeah.
And we did a newer play called Cul-de-sac by John Cariani. And it was a new work, only had been done in a couple of cities. So it was a small cast of 6, and all 6 of us were current or former theater teachers. And this year is interesting. It'll be our second year. We got a lot of interest from other teachers interested in being a part of the company.
Yeah.
So we'll explore that option. But also we have new authors sending us their publications and their scripts. So that's interesting. We're exploring whether we're going to do a published piece, whether we're going to do something newer. But we perform at Hyde Park Theater, and it's kind of a smaller space, and we will share it with the current production that is at Hyde Park, so it needs to be a lower production value.
So it's more like black box theater.
It is, and we'll focus more on the acting. But it's a great outlet. Last year's show was a lot of fun, and it had great audiences. We're looking forward to doing it again.
Well, and to be fair, we're really grateful that Hyde Park Theater is our home. So
Absolutely,
Hyde
yes.
Park Theater is a well-established theater in Austin, as a lot of people probably know. So Ken Webster is the artistic director. He runs Hyde Park Theater, and we're very lucky and grateful that he let us into the space, and it's working out. He's allowing us to be there again this year. So he's a great man, and so we're very fortunate that he's letting us stay
we
there
are,
for
and
a
we're
while.
sharing his space.
Yeah.
Is more what I meant. So we're not going to come in and change his space. We're going to come in and work with what's there, and so have the essentials for ours. And we're basically going off of Hyde Park's season and we're going to share the space.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's really great to hear. We got to go to commercial to appease the gods of commerce. But are you willing to stick around and chat some more?
Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're still here with Stacy Meisetschlaeger. Unfortunately, Maggie Bell had to run off. So, Stacy, you've been a teacher for how long?
Well, I have been teaching students for 22 years now.
Well, how many of those years have you taught middle school theater?
I've taught middle school theater for 10 years, still going.
So kids do some crazy stuff, and we both know theater kids doubly so. So what's the funniest or weirdest thing you've ever seen a student do?
I had this student. He was obsessed with one of our props. It was a rubber chicken. He named it Bob. So he would put Bob anywhere that he thought I might find it. In my desk drawer, I open the drawer, there's Bob. Bob's usually doing something inappropriate. So you've got your scenes from Shakespeare, and you're going to start by finding your objective. Make sure you have an objective for each character and identify the tactics.
Crap. Did I fall asleep during the interview? Man, I gotta get more rest. I was going to class and the TV show. It's cutting into my sleep schedule. I'm sorry, Stacy. Where were we?
Stacy? Stacy,
Yeah?
you can call me Mrs. Meisetschlaeger or Miss M, Mr. Quetian.
Wait, what? No, like not 5 minutes ago. You told me to call you Stacy because, well, I'm a grown man and all that.
Oh, Xander. When have you ever heard me tell one of my students they can call me by my first name? Now quit sleeping and pay attention to the lesson.
What?
Miss M, when is the group project due?
Aren't you cute? Well, the end of the 6 weeks is next Friday, so the written portion will be due this Friday, and next week you'll perform your group scenes.
6 weeks grading assignments? Stacy, what the actual hell is going on here?
Xander, how many times I've told you you cannot curse in class? Now, do I have to call your mother again?
What? Where am I? This isn't the studio. This isn't UT. This is my middle school theater classroom.
Studio? You think with an attitude like that, you're going to get your own TV show?
Attitude problem.
Wait, what? Okay, this is crazy. This has got to be like some sort of elaborate prank, or maybe that expired tuna sandwich from the 7-Eleven on the drag.
Yes, Xander, you are right. You caught us. This is an elaborate prank.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, I thought I was losing my mind here for a second. Okay, sleep deprivation is no joke, kids. So, Stacy, shall we finish the interview?
Stacy, again, Mr. Quetian, I told you that you may not call your teacher by her first name. That's a referral. Off to the office. Now go.
You said this was a prank. No, this is real.
Oh. Or is it?
No! No!
So, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen a student do.
Oh, God. Stacy, I just had the weirdest dream. I dreamed that I was back in middle school, and I was in your class, and you were mad at me for calling you by your first name, and Jaden was there, and he didn't even go to my middle school, and you said it was all a prank, but that it wasn't.
Oh, that is a really weird dream. Or was it?
No! And scene. Stacy Meisetschlaeger, everybody. Give her a big hand.
Thank you.
Hey, where did the other cup go? It doesn't matter. Throw it up, please. Oh, come on. Faster. Need my coffee. Okay. We'd like to thank Stacy Meisetschlaeger and Maggie Bell for coming on the show. And for everyone here at the What's Update, thank you for watching. As always, it is what it is. Now give me the coffee!